obviously there's a great deal of excitement. I think the biggest thing is like I want enthusiasm going into our first day of practice, and for the most part, I think that's happened. I want guys eager for that first day of practice. I know a lot of teams throughout the country bring their whole team together. Once September 15th comes in, you can have more than 4 guys work out at a time. But I'm still big on that first day of practice being your first day with that team. And so we've not had our whole team together for basketball situations yet. We've done things as far as like conditioning, weight room, things like that as a team. We haven't had one day of actually being on the court with the basketball as far as like our whole team. So I'm really looking forward to that first day. Our whole team comes out there and have a lot of excitement and enthusiasm about the game of basketball. So I know our staff is looking forward to it. I know I'm actually looking forward to it. I was out recruiting and I saw Mark Fox. We're kind of when you're recruiting, it's always like that movie, The Usual Suspects. You keep seeing the same guys over and over again. So I saw Mark Fox and he said like, hey, relish Saturday. He said that's the first time you get a chance to say you're coaching the team. This is your team. So he said relish that opportunity, and I'm excited about it.
You talked about different roles that guys are going to have to take, like Wendell being more offensive minded, Jalen being more well-rounded, etc. You're kind of eager to see whether those guys can actually fill those roles, kind of solve that mystery, whether they can do that.
Yeah, that remains to be seen, because we haven't done anything competitive 5-on-5 yet, and obviously we haven't played any basketball games. But what they've demonstrated so far, as like our individual workouts and some of our workouts where 5-on-0, 4-on-0, and things like that, those guys have tried to assume those roles. Now, whether they end up being successful in those new roles remains to be seen. But I'm excited about what those guys have demonstrated, what they can and cannot do so far.
Does the off-season seem shorter or longer?
I'm sorry?
Does this off-season seem shorter or longer?
I don't think there's really such a thing as off-season. It's a situation now, like I've been in this business so long and I've been doing the same things, The biggest thing for me, I've been so fortunate to work with guys that have given me an opportunity to coach basketball. I've never been seen as just like a recruiter. Obviously that's a big part of what I did as an assistant coach, but I've been really fortunate to work with guys that would let me do individual workouts, have some input in X and O's, putting in offensive and defensive schemes. So for me, not a lot has changed as far as like, obviously, I got total reign of the whole process. But the big thing for me at this point in time is just making sure our guys feel comfortable about what they're doing on the court. That's a lot of repetition and forming habits.
How's Fred coming along?
Fred is supposed to have an X-ray and go to the doctor today and get a final check and make sure that he can come out of his walking boot right now. His first X-ray went great. He was able to get the cast removed and go to a walking boot. So hopefully we'll get good news today in the fact that he come out of the walking boot. Now, I still don't know what the progression is next for him as far as is he just full bore 100%? He can practice the whole time with the team. Is he limited as far as he can go an hour, he can do half court, he can do some things. I don't know that information yet until he meets with the doctors, and then the doctors meet with Scotty, our trainer, and then they'll relay that information to me. But as far as the things that Fred is supposed to do, going in and seeing the training staff and making sure he's doing everything he's supposed to do as far as his rehab, he's been great and terrific with that so far. So I'm looking forward to some good news.
What's it going to be like, you think, when you get the guys all together? And you obviously had to make a decision being 2 guys short after booting a couple of players. How do you think the guys are going to kind of rally around you and kind of accept that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any sort of a rallying cry or anything like that. I think guys, signed on to play Division I college basketball. And so the first day that they can have practice and get out and actually play, 5-on-5 basketball, you would hope and think that those guys would be enthusiastic about going out and playing basketball. So I don't think there's any sort of a mindset coming in or any sort of a rallying cry. I just think the fact that these guys love to play basketball and now they get an opportunity to do it.